Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. Introduction of this varadero. Oh, for God's sakes. Someone told me how to say it the other day, Daniel I think, and they broke it right down for me, but I forgot. Anyway, this is it. Let's just have a basic look around. It is extremely dirty. I know it was in, I think he was called Harlem. I don't know why I think that. I'm sorry mate, I think you're watching Harlem and Dad, I believe. Do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, mate. It was in his garden a while, so it is going to be dirty. You know, that stuff's not an issue for me. It's not like the BMW where it was there for 10 years. Or the actual kind of bones is the bit I'm worried about. So, at the moment, see, this stuff's great. You know, I'll throw some black on that in the end and it will look amazing. It will look like a hero. Tyres are okay, I think they're savable, but will need pumping or repairs. That can be sprayed, that's no issue there. That's already been sprayed in the past. I'll do that again. That can be sprayed a nice colour. The engine part looks fine. The choke moves freely, so that was good news. It means the carbs can't be too bad. And then all of this is just loose. Oh, hang on. Oh, hey, look, I fixed it already. I made a street fire. Right. So, let me just unplug that. Come on, pop off. Pop. I'll do with you after. So this is kind of what we will be left with. This is where I'm starting today. I'm just going to do a little bit of stripping the front, just getting all this off, and then kind of having a fresh start. They look like big old Honda Hornets without the front, which is brilliant. It's exactly what people want, and they're feed twins. They look massive. I don't know what works and what don't. I'm not that fussed. I can always throw a much more basic clock on here. I don't know what the mileage on is on this bike. Hang on, I've got the key. I haven't even tried. No, it shouldn't have anything at all. If it turns, that is. Oh, it did turn. Oh my God, that's stiff. Oh, come on. Ah, it's on. Beep, 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 beep. Alright, so it needs battery charging or battery generally. That's fine. I always get a bit scared when lights come on anyway, because I think, oh God, it's just going to fire up, knowing too well that it's not. It's messy. It's messy. Like, if I street fighter this bike, this can't stay here, because it just ruins the look of the bike. So stuff like that needs to move. That's the overfill. Now, I don't know how necessary they are. I believe they only work if your bike comes into problems and starts overheating. Otherwise, I don't think they get used, but I'm going to have to double check that, because you can actually block all that off, or maybe have a small little one. I'll look into that. I don't actually know enough to tell you guys that. Anything sticking out on this side when we take this off? Nah, the radiator on the edge, that's fine. Just make sure it's clean and neat. Quick. Hey, look at that. There you go, guys. There's your 125 Street Fighter project, ready for sale. If anyone wants to buy it, £510. Look at it. It's a big old bike. It's nice. It's got a nice shape. I'm gonna have to think about what I do there. No, I don't actually. At the moment, I need to think about whether this thing will start up at all. That's what I need to think about. But yes. Right, what holds these clocks, if it's that massive, so the main frame, it looks like that can come off, and then that holds the clocks up here. That's kind of okay. I don't know, you could always just mount a tiny little one here, guys, couldn't you? You don't need anything on it, just a tiny little clock. Do you know what? That's crazy. Thinking about all that, when I haven't even turned a key on this thing is nuts. But I might see a nice bike at the end. I don't at the moment. I don't. I always get kind of disheartened with my bikes at first, don't I? Because I can't see them cleaning up. But this should. I'm not doing much more. I think the front tyre's flat. I'm gonna put some air in the tyres because it's hard to push at the moment. Just to make it a bit easier to push around. And then I think tomorrow I'm free. No, tomorrow I'll be finishing Sue's bike. Hopefully the tank turns up tomorrow. So Thursday or Friday I will pop the tank. If the battery's accessible now, I'm going to take it anyway to charge it. And also I've got the Honda CBR battery in there as well. I'm going to take that as well. And I need to take the battery to that at some point, that moped. So that's what I'm going to do right now, guys. Pop this battery, get the battery out the CBR, get them both charged at home, and then tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, we'll go straight into kind of carb cleans and seeing how we do from there. Let me know what your thoughts are on this bike. Let me know what you think I should do. It has to be a Street Fighter. It looks great. It looks really big and bulky, and it needs a new petrol tank. I don't mind buying a new petrol tank if it gets started. Look at that. I mean, if someone's nutsack did that, braking hard, then they're doing alright in life. Oh man, I didn't realise the seat was this bad. God, what side did I see? Oh look, I had that little gouge. I thought, oh, it's fine. Someone's eaten this side. New seat's fine. Second hand on eBay, no issue at all. But again, I'm not even considering any of that until this bike turns a key, turns over, has some compression, and fires up. Yeah, as soon as I upload this video, let me know what you think. These bars are okay, but I'll get some braced bars just for the looks. I actually like the clock. Now I'm looking at it, I like the originality of that clock and where it sits. One thing some people don't like, Aiden doesn't like it, is when we mount the clocks like that and they don't turn with the steering. I know Aiden finds that, I don't know, what would you say? Disconcerting? I'm not sure what he said, but he didn't like that. But other people do like that because you know the clock is where it's meant to be all the time, and that is the natural thing that happens with clocks. They do stay where they're meant to be. It just always kind of feels worse on a Street Fighter. Cool. How do I get that rear seat off? I said yesterday it was a key, didn't I? Oh, here you go. Let's see. I'm blatantly going to have to hotwire the seat or something. Oh no. Oh, I got something there. Go on. This key's had it. I'm going to have to get one cut or something. Come on. Yes! Have this all. Shit, I think that's a rat's nest, isn't it? Or a mouse nest or something. Oh my god, it actually is. You know me, guys. I'm scared of everything. Spiders, mice, rats. That's a proper... I'm going to have to check the wiring on this bike. Go home. Oh my god. I swear, if something jumps out. That's terrible. Scared the crap out of me. I say bring back the spiders. Cool. That's the restoration done, guys. Yep. Okay, so what was I doing anyway? Oh, the battery. Battery, there it is. I'll pop that off. I'll see what the charger says. But like I said, I've got a CBR one kicking about somewhere. And I'm going to look at a new seat. But obviously not now. This is stuff I do at the end. You can see that bottle now, guys, can't you? So from the other side, it's a nice clean Street Fighter look. And then you've got this kind of weird bowl sticking out. I guess at the absolute worst, I could move it maybe. I don't know, can I? Can I not? Maybe I could move it down there or something. Look, underneath the engine. We'll work on that. All that chain is seriously loose. Seriously loose. Is there any play in the wheel? Oh, I can see straight away, look, this is bent. That's going to cause problems. How much more room is there? Oh, none, it's at the back. Alright, so it'll need a new chain, guys. I hate messing with chains, I'm rubbish at it. But it will definitely need a new chain. I mean, if this bike runs and rides, well, I say runs and rides, it's not riding anywhere like that. If it starts up and the engine seems okay after a bit of a service, a new chain and sprocket set won't hurt. It'd be well worth doing. Yeah, again guys, let me know what your thoughts are. If anyone is in or around or near London on a weekend, let me know. You feel free to pop in, give me a hand. I think this big old thing needs to go. I think it'll look a bit slicier without it. Unless someone wants to carry a box. I'll throw it in the sale, but I'm going to take it off the bike. The whole exhaust system needs painting black, might as well. It came out so well on Sue's. Be nuts not to do it again. That's it anyway guys, that's it. A big long introduction video that I'm going to put up probably tomorrow. And you guys let me know what you think I should do with it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my Honda Varadero. I'll never get it right, so I'm not even going to try. This is it. This is what we're working with. Now, I'm not going to get much done today, this afternoon, because there's no fuel literally at the petrol station. I just walked down with my canister and they're empty. They had high octane, but we've seen what that does in bikes before. So the key at the moment is not good on the ignition. It's terrible, it's stiff, but it's doable. It doesn't appear to do the tank at all. I wonder if this was made trying to pop that with some sort of, I wonder if someone tried to bar that up somehow. But we know we need a fuel tank anyway. So I think the first thing on the list for this, if it ever fires up, is an ignition set. Not a huge issue at all at this stage. Now get your WD ready. You know what I'm like. Everything needs squirting because it's such a pain when it snaps. And then, you know, start taking it apart. So I'm going to pop this fuel tank off. It appears to be completely empty. And then just look at how we get to the carbs. If I feel like I can do it easily enough at this stage, I'll pop the carbs. Again, use some WD-40 and maybe look at the inside to see how they start looking. If we're lucky, I'll get the carbs cleaned and back on tonight, but I doubt it. The weather's not great and it's a bit later now. It's like 6 on a Friday. Is it? What time is it? 7? I don't know. So I'm not going to have that long, but I do want to pop the tank off and just have a look at the general condition of the engine. I'm going to blitz the engine with some tree sap remover and stuff, just to get it all soaked in, so that at some point, if this thing ever fired up, I could take it to a jet wash and it would start looking like a nice clean bike. So I'm just going to do a few basic bits. Main one is popping that tank off. Tomorrow I'll look at fueling it up, powering it up and firing it up. If it fired and seemed like a decent bike, then I'll look at new oils, new filters, new spark plugs, proper full service, and yeah, basically all of that. Then if it seems to be okay and run and ride at that stage, I'll look at beautifying it. New petrol tank definitely, maybe a new seat or seat cover, and just a nice good clean everywhere else. So that's kind of where we are at this stage. Let me pop the tank off and see what we look like underneath there. Considering there was some sort of nest in there, wires will need looking at. They might have been bitten. It definitely needs a chain and sprocket set. I hate chain and sprockets. I'm no good at putting them on. And so on. So let's see today, let's see if we can get down to the carbs. Let's see if we can pop them off. Let's see how clean or not they are. Apparently it was only written a year ago, so they shouldn't be that bad. But sometimes they've been sitting before that. Someone just chucked fuel in, fired it up, trickled it home, and it was caked anyway. We'll see. So guys, tank came off okay. I've just given this a good clean. It was caked, and there's more kind of signs of nests in the bike. There's lots of nests in the bike, which again brings me to I'm going to have a good look at the wiring at some point. I'm going to pop this off. Obviously we need this off anyway because the carbs are underneath somewhere, but let's check the filter. Let's check if there's one in there. There might not be. How dirty it is. Does it need a clean? Does it need to be changed, or so on? Look at the shape of the bike. It's a wicked shape. It's a lovely shape. It's very slimline. Look, very cool. In fact, the tank is way too huge for such a cool slimline bike. It could almost get away with being like a scrambler. But yes, I'm just going to pop that off for now, and we'll have a look at the filter. Let's see how that is. So filter's out. I mean, it's pretty bad. I've given it a bit of a spray already. It's black, but it might be cleanable. I'm going to give it a good clean. I was just thinking there, like, not that long ago, I would have automatically replaced that and messed around online and waited for delivery and lost deliveries and this and that. Lots of these filters can be cleaned successfully. Always try and give them a clean first, and if they look like they're doing well, throw them back in. You know, it's a false economy to not do that. The inside is clean. Dead spider there. Hate spiders. Let's pop this off, and then we'll get down to the carbs. Remember this, I've not done this kind of carb system before. It's a feed twin, so they're kind of, there's one at a different angle, isn't there? So I'm not really sure what I'm even looking at. I'm just doing my best. I'm just going to pop this off and we'll have a look and see what it looks like. So first part of the airbox there comes off separate to this, and then I believe these bolts, screws here are clamping down the rest. Just kind of remember what it looks like. That's all we're doing, is putting it back to how it seems. And then we'll see how accessible each carb is. Ultimately, you've got two carbs here. If you treat them as an individual, cleaning should be okay, but I can see how it's a bit intimidating. I feel a little bit intimidated by what I'm going to see and how I access the carbs and stuff like that. So let's just take this off first and then see what we're working with. So pop off the 8 screws there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just remember roughly where it went. Keep the screws handy. There's pipe work and stuff on here. I guess just put it up and put it aside. All we want to do is get a bit closer to the carbs. Look, the necks come off. I didn't realise that, so be aware. Do they come out this way? No, they must come out through the back only, maybe. That's fine. I guess I'm going to be just putting this aside. Let me see. If not, then get good pictures. Look, that pipe goes there. I'll probably pop off that pipe for ease, and we'll see where we can push this or pull it or get it out the way. So the next step is just getting rid of this plastic and remembering that these go underneath towards the carbs. So we're down to the carbs. I've learned a couple of things. First is that the throttle doesn't turn at all. I can see the cable moving, so I think the carbs maybe are kind of caked and need a good old clean, which is great. That's what we're doing. Secondly, they look so complex. I genuinely don't know how to get them off at the moment. I don't know if it's just undo the clamps and pop them off and then pull them to the side and work on them like I normally would. Someone had a go at me last time for doing that. They said, how can you just pull them off and pop them on the side? Easy, actually. The less work you have to do, the better, isn't it? Pull them off, leave it all connected, put them to the side, undo the bowls, clean them out, and put them back on. That's the answer to that. I don't know if the mechanism's all kind of wrecked or ruined. Sometimes the return cable causes the issues. I'll undo one of the return cable. Which one's the throttle? I think the top one's the throttle, so that makes this one the return. This one could be stuck or stiff, and that could be stopping it. So I'm going to try and release the carb somehow, and then look into cleaning them. To be fair, at the moment you could spray all of these areas in and it would clean them to an extent, but then the stuff you've cleaned out would be trapped in the bowl, and that would go back up the jets next time you start it. So You'd get it started, I'm sure, but it would not be a proper clean. Give me a couple of minutes and I'll look into that. So it's all very busy down here. I'm just trying to get some idea of where all these lines go. These are coolant hoses, I believe. I'm going to take this one off. It's a bit of a pain. So there's one that goes from there to there. This one comes from underneath and goes up to here. It's just a bit busy and the carbs are quite hard to move because of how much is going on. Try and clip as much as you can. Like there's a clip there. Try and clip that out because that might give you a fair amount of movement and stuff like that. And basically you want to be able to tip these over to undo the bowls. So at this stage the rear carb's okay. Just watch this mechanism. Opens and closes really nice and easily. And then the front one is solid and stiff. It sees this one here. In fact, it's open right now. Now, at first, it wouldn't budge at all. It took a lot of work to get it to go to here. I'm going to put the grips on here outside. Look at that out here. And I can, I can open and close it. But it's not opening and closing on its own. Sorry about the camera quality. It's I've got one hand. So obviously I've doused it in WD a lot. I'm going to let that kind of work overnight and see what happens there, but it's rock solid, and the spring doesn't seem too bad, so it's not so much a spring issue, it's just kind of caked up and seized up. And I don't know if you can ever break these apart enough to get to all this internal mechanism. I doubt you can. So at the moment this carb is no good. Ideally I'd get a set of carbs off eBay and they would just come and be okay all round, and you just switch everything over. But let's see tomorrow. Just keep spraying, just get your WD in there, both sides, all on the inside, all over the spring and all over any connecting areas, and see how that goes. I'll give it another shot tomorrow. It definitely needs to be looser than that. If you see this one just springs back, look, just springs back, and these will be connected eventually, so you'll have that spring to help and you have the return mechanism, but it still needs to be enough for it all to work. So that's all I can do for tonight. There's been no proper carb clean. The other thing I couldn't do was I couldn't get the bowls off. I just couldn't get them screws off. They were rounding, they were messing. So I did clean through, like I said, through here, and I released the bowls. Lots of green fuel came out. It's very, very stale. I'll spray it again before I go, let it sit, let it kind of cake, work its way in there. But remember, there's a good chance these carbs are not functional and need to go. I bet new carbs cost a bomb. I'll have a look online tonight. But ideally I'd get a nice set of carbs.